guys, welcome back to Rossoneri TV. I'm with Adamo here to discuss the possible departure of Balotelli to Liverpool. It was announced this morning that Balotelli left Milan, emptied his locker, drove off with his Ferrari, and his destination is probably Liverpool. Now, Raiola is currently speaking with Liverpool management, and it seems like they're discussing over the wages and his contract length. However, it seems like Liverpool will clutch him for 20 million euros. Now, what are your first initial thoughts on this situation, Adamo, waking up to these news?
Well, I think everybody could tell from me tweeting out on Twitter. I find it pretty horrific and hilarious, at that matter, that Milan would even consider accepting a bid like that. But it's even funnier that Liverpool actually made a bid like that. Because just a night ago, everybody was laughing at the bid that Liverpool did make, which is not the offer that is made right now, but it was something like a loan with a fee and then a buyout clause. But it's pretty much equal to the same offer that got accepted by AC Milan, which I find kind of a disgrace how you could sell your star player for so cheap after you made absolutely no profit on him.
Now, Adamo, there's still something to talk about regarding Balotelli. Milan still owe Man City 12 million euros for what happened during his when he got his contract, and really they're gonna have to pay this off in a way or another, pretty much losing money on Balotelli. What do you make out of this whole situation? Really, also regarding the situation that Berlusconi after the World Cup mentioned that probably not selling him before the World Cup was his biggest mistake ever.
I think it's a big, for what Berlusconi said, I think it's a big thing that Balotelli probably took to heart as well. And it could have possibly made him start thinking even more about the move to go to a different club. But, yeah, it's pretty odd how, like I said, Milan would accept a deal that they make absolutely no money off of. And, in fact, they're probably losing money.
Yeah, now there's lots of options here for Milan on the board. And really, they got to find a replacement. What seems a bit crazy to me is how all this is happening with 10 days to go till the start of the season. And the transfer market pretty much ends one day later. Really, it's such an incredible situation at Milan right now, because not only do they have to find a replacement for Balotelli, but there's also the whole discussion about the winger and so forth. It's going to be a crazy, crazy 10 days for Milan. And we don't even know what to expect anymore. Now, let's talk a bit about the players that are on the board for Milan and who could possibly come to Milan. These are the names that have been mentioned so far. They are Jackson Martinez, 27-year-old, scored 20 goals and added 3 assists with Porto in the Portuguese league last season, making him the top scorer. The Colombian also scored twice in the World Cup for Colombia against Japan. Now, reports are suggesting that AC Milan obviously are willing to make a loan offer to Porto for him, and with a buyout clause of 25 million euros. Is this the kind of player that we need, Adamo? Could he make the difference at Milan, and could he be a good replacement for Balotelli?
Well, I think obviously his stats do show how talented he is. I think he's a fantastic striker. I've seen him a couple times, and I think he would actually be the perfect replacement. As you know, he has good speed on him, great at heading the ball, very clinical, and would be perfect for a 4-3-3. But the thing is, we will probably be paying more for him than we sold Balotelli for, unless if Galliani tries to work some magic out. Hopefully we can and possibly get him, but I think he would be a great replacement for Balotelli.
As you said, it is very hard for Galliani and Milan to actually find a solution for this player, because the Porto management are really keen on the player. It's their star player, and obviously it's hard, especially considering the fact that Milan want to get him on loan before actually buying him. So the thing seems a bit unlikely to happen, but of course anything is possible in the transfer market. Now let's move on, guys. Next name on the list, Alvaro Negredo, 29 years old, scored 9 goals and added 5 assists with Man City in 32 appearances last season. So the stats are not really that promising. However, he did score 5 goals in 8 Champions League matches last season. So that is a bit more to compensate for his stats. Now, apparently he's still suffering from an injury though, and will only make a return in October. Now, what do you make out of this? I mean, even considering that he's been linked to Milan.
Well, yeah, I'm sure he's a great player. I've seen him play a couple times as well as Jackson Martinez. Fantastic striker, always found a way in at that Manchester City amazing attack. But yeah, with that injury until October, that really puts off the deal for me, especially adding that he's 29 years old, so he doesn't have much time left in his prime. In fact, he's probably dying out of it right now. So I think I take him at AC Milan, but the thing is, I wouldn't be willing to pay a lot for Alvaro Negredo.
The transfer fee is really a lot considering his stats and, of course, the injury. We won't even see him right away. Now, let's move on that list, guys. Next name is Chicharito Hernandez, playing for Man U, of course, 26 years old. Only scored 4 goals and added 3 assists in a very disappointing for Man U. Very much similar to our season, really. And he's definitely a more affordable player than the first two mentioned, guys. But will he be able to solve the problems at AC Milan, Adamo?
Well, I think, again, I would take anybody AC Milan at this point, but if he would fit in the system, I'm not too sure. If we continue with the 4-3-3, he may not be the viable striker to have. Maybe as a false 9 he could work, but if it's for a much cheaper price than some other strikers, if we could possibly get him at a lower price, I would definitely take him at AC Milan, as he's not too old and he's not too young, so he's right in the middle in his prime, and so I think he'd be very good for AC Milan if we play him in a false 9 role.
Moving on, guys, Wilfried Bony. Now, this guy, 25 years old, still pretty much in his prime, scored 16 goals with Swansea City. Not an easy task at all, considering the players you're paired up with in the Premier League. Now, he also scored twice in the World Cup for Ivory Coast, so not a bad player at all. But the question really for him is he ready to make a move to a top club?
Well, just like, I never really thought of him as an option, but now that I come to think of it, that you mention it, he would actually probably be a very good option for AC Milan. I saw him in the Premier League, the debut for the Premier League. He actually did very well. He's working the pitch well. He shows off his strength. He doesn't let players fool around with him, and he gets the job done. So I think at his age, he'd be fantastic. There's obviously stronger options, but I would take him if the price is right.
And finally, last but not least, guys, Roberto Soldado, 29 years old, scored a meager 6 goals, guys, in 28 appearances for Tottenham last season, and was classified as the 10 worst buys of the Premier League by the Daily Telegraph. Now, AC Milan definitely can't afford a striker that doesn't guarantee goals for Milan. So, would you completely discard this option for AC Milan, Adamo?
Yes, but in the sense that we have Pazzini, I don't see the need of getting Roberto Soldado if Pazzini could possibly be doing even better than him. Plus, Pazzini has shown, I think people will give Pazzini too much stick, because when he's fully fit, given the chance, he will do fantastic, just like in the season where El Shaarawy showed off his talents. So I think it'd just be a waste of money, but if we could get him at like 3 to 5 million, I'd take him, but I don't think that's going to happen.
As you mentioned, with Pazzini there, really, right now, what do you think is going through Pazzini's head? I mean, Balotelli leaving, obviously he's going to be used as a sub still, Pazzini. I don't see him really starting as a role, but right now with no striker, Pazzini definitely has a job to do. Could he do that job? I mean, we saw him 2 seasons ago really breaking out with those goals for Milan. Could he repeat this as well in this season?
I think it's possible, but it's not as likely. Obviously, he's 2 years older, which doesn't play a huge factor, but it's Pazzini. I'm sure he would get the job done. He would be okay, but we're AC Milan. Come on. I know that's not an excuse anymore, but you can't expect to get results with just having Pazzini up front, and especially not having any backup, and all you would have is somebody like Petagna.
Right. All right, guys. So these are the pretty much names that have been mentioned to replace Mario Balotelli. As I mentioned before, it is still not completely official that Balotelli has been sold to Liverpool. We will make another video when he is. But right now, this is what the situation seems to be, guys. We will keep you updated on Rossoneri TV, so make sure to hit that subscribe button. This has been Gio and Adamo here for Rossoneri TV signing off. And as usual, Forza Milan!
Forza Milan!